with your host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com, broadcasting live on YouTube and X. I'm your host, Andrew Romanella, with a very special live guest today, the one, the only Rocky Romanella. Rocky, thanks for joining us.
So happy to be here. Can't believe I'm in studio. I mean, this place is, it's been a dream just to see it on the internet. Now I'm here in real life.
Well, not everyone can be in studio with us, but you can tune in on the show with Rocky and I, a special edition. Probably the third time, maybe this year, in the last year at least, we've been together, but never live in the true Rome Show studio. So it's exciting stuff. Very exciting.
I feel like 12 OZ is having some nostalgia here too, because I feel like we started together when we first were with these guys.
Yeah, it might have been. We were doing like Thursday nights, I think, for like an hour and a half.
I think the greatest sports movie of all time, 60-14 bracket, is kind of one of our debuts.
That's a great point. You'll have to go back on the Rome Show podcast, wherever you get your podcast, and check out some of the history of what we call Rome Squared in our radio establishment for the last 5 or so years now. So we have Rocky live in studio for a few different reasons, none that you should care about though. But the ones you should care about are the fact that we're going to talk a little NFL schedule release. Apparently, Rocky's favorite team was gifted the hardest schedule in the National Football League, so we'll get into that. Plus, of course, if you listened to yesterday, we talked a little bit about the Pete Rose reinstatement, and the Cincinnati Reds celebrated him yesterday, and I personally was bothered by it. I know my brother here was bothered by it as well, so we'll get into some of that. And then, of course, we have Mr. Hockey with Rocky live. So if we can get on ice, we will get on ice. Before we do all the fun stuff, I remind you, it's the Rome Show 1, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Oh, wrong button. It is not Hump Day. But that's where you're going to get the social media handles. 12 OZ Sports is the mothership. So, if you just follow them, it's being pretty easy to follow every show. Okay, Rocky, let's get into it. NFL schedule release. Okay, now, for anyone that knows us, this is way too early football talk in this household. Okay, we're not like big, who's QB1 going to be on the Jets? And it's like May 16th, or May 15th.
Well, we know the answer to that. We don't know.
We don't know.
They might not have a quarterback.
Yeah, we don't. Honestly, we could get into that debate for the next 4 months and still not figure it out. But it was released yesterday, Rocky, that the New York Football Giants have the hardest schedule in the National Football League. Okay, and before we dive into this, so-called really hard schedule, I just want to get your thoughts on this whole scheduling thing, because I was always of the belief that the team that won the Super Bowl should turn around and have the hardest schedule, not a team that was 3-14.
Yeah, so we got the Birmingham Stallions and the Michigan Panthers tied in first place at 5-2, and we got the DC. Wrong FL.
No, it's the USFL.
The UFL.
My bad.
Yeah, I would think the Chiefs need the hardest schedule. I think you're right. I think you're on something.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I can't get over the fact that you just brought that. That's great.
I've been waiting to.
Have you watched any of that?
Absolutely not.
It's actually not terrible.
I'm sure it's great, but I don't have time.
I agree. Spring football, don't have time. Here's how I would equate. Is it the USFL?
UFL.
I'd equate the UFL as when you watch Maction on a Tuesday. Like when you randomly turn your TV on in October and it's like Marshall versus like Bowling Green.
Oh, yeah. It's like, yeah. They're like, it's October 26th. For the next 100 days, you will have a football game every day.
Yes, correct. And every Tuesday, you're like, I like what I'm watching, but it's really not that good comparative. Yes. So that's what I equate the UFL to. But back to the NFL. Here is the first 4 weeks of the New York Football Giants schedule. The Washington Commanders, NFC Championship game last year. The Dallas Cowboys, though underperformed, should be way better. Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Los Angeles Chargers won a round in the playoffs. And then we go from there. That's a tough start.
It is a tough start, and it's not even about so for me, it's not about the tough start, whatever. It's in the NFL schedule is hard no matter what. Like let's be serious. My problem with the way the league schedules is, why am I playing the Commanders and the Cowboys week 1 and 2?
Yeah, I don't get that.
Now we've always played the Cowboys early,
right?
And the Commanders typically come second. And then the Eagles, which, by the way, we play Eagles twice in 3 weeks this year, which is dumb.
That's wild.
I can't stand it. You play the Cowboys at the front and the back end. What I don't get is, in the NHL, we've got people complaining about the way the playoffs are seeding. We're sitting here, we love it because it creates a nice interdivisional matchup at the beginning of week 1. We're sitting here, okay, we've gone preseason 5 games. Now it's 2. We've gone to 18 NFL games, and we all know the weeks 1 through 4 are a crapshoot. You have no idea who's good in weeks 1 through 4.
You have no idea what team's anything.
You're still in preseason.
Correct.
Why are we making the division games then?
Correct. I don't get it.
We got to stack the back end of the season with the division games.
I think that's where it should be a model of, if there's no longer a preseason and you're not fully establishing yourself in terms of getting actually football ready, make the first 4 weeks like every college conference you've ever seen. It's non-conference, right? In college, so it would be what?
Go AFC. You could go AFC. Listen, if you want the ratings, you can even stay NFC only, but no division.
Yeah.
Right. Your NFC games are there, but
you
no
play the
division
Vikings.
Games.
You play the Green Bay Packers.
These are the most important games for these teams.
Yeah.
Why are we playing them in week 1 and 2? Like, give them a chance to get their team, real team.
It would be different if you just stacked everybody 1 through 8, and it didn't matter if you won your division, because then at that point in time, you're just winning football games. But since the division literally matters so much, you get a home playoff game if you win the division. So it's like that. It's a good point there. And if you look at the Giants real quick to finish, to your point, they play Dallas, Washington, and Philly. So that's 3 division games before October 9th. So your whole season could be determined.
And by the way, I'm happy we're playing in warm weather.
Right.
Well,
right.
I'll give you that.
More enjoyable. Right.
More enjoyable. But so I guess it's a test. I guess you're saying, all right, well, everyone gets tested before you're really good, and then you get tested again in the back end. But if you look, you play Philly 2 weeks later. I don't know. I guess I get ratings, but in my opinion, more competitive divisional games create higher ratings too.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying. So, like, if you look at the 49ers, who were also given the easiest schedule. So the flip side, right? We just talked about the Giants given the hardest, but less about the easy schedule, more about, I wanted to see if your point's correct across the league now, because week 1 for the 49ers, they open up against the Seattle Seahawks. Then week 3, they play the Arizona Cardinals. So in 2 of their first 3 weekends, though people deemed their schedule easier, it's also division games. So it doesn't matter.
You go 0-2 in your division.
It's a huge difference. I mean, what a different start to the year, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm going to click through, because I was going to go through some of the playoff contenders, or the teams that, like the Philadelphia Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Some of the teams that people are thinking are going to win a Super Bowl. You look at the Eagles, week 1 is Dallas, week 2 is Kansas City. So it's like,
why?
Why
do I want to see a Super Bowl rematch in week 2?
I don't want to see a Super Bowl rematch at all. Like
zero times. And
the NFL loves doing this. So I think, in conclusion, on the NFL schedule, point right in, the Rome Show 1. Gosh, man, I'm killing the buttons today, the tweeter. My take on this is, I don't like the way the NFL does the scheduling. I don't think there's a consistency to it. I thought there used to be a consistency to it. Like you rotate the divisional games that you play each year, but it seems like that's not necessarily a thing right now either.
No, well, it is. Well, you got the extra game with the expanded season. And like you see, like, the Giants are back in Vegas this year. They were in Vegas 2 years ago. So I don't know how that works. Like, why wouldn't Vegas be playing in New York?
We should go to that game.
Yeah, well, guess what? It's the weekend
before.
Flex. Yeah, and it's the weekend in between Christmas and New Year's. Yeah. So it's possible.
Very possible.
So there's that. So we played in Miami twice in 3 years. So I just think, like, the way it's rotating, they're adding the extra game, I think, just based on ratings.
Yeah, and I think also, now that I'm thinking about it, stupid of me to not realize this before, but it's true, right? Like, they changed the schedule from 16 games to 17.
Yep.
And I guess that changes things too. To finish, I'm looking at the Dolphins right now because it would be not me to not at least look at the Dolphins schedule. They might not start with a divisional game, but are you ready for this schedule week 2 through 4?
Yeah, let's see it.
Versus the Patriots, at the Buffalo Bills, versus the New York Jets.
That's all 3.
I know. So
you're 4 games in. You've played every team in your division, and you have no idea if you're actually that good.
And then here's the other part of this, and this has to be across the NFL because we've looked at 5 schedules already almost at this point now, 6 now, and it looks similar. But then you don't play the Bills again until November 9th. Okay, thank God it's in Miami on November 9th. You go to New York on December 7th, and then you end with New England on week 18. And that's the other part of it that's wild to me is it's like, okay, I get it. You like the division games, but those are 5 to 4 different teams right there. The September version of the Dolphins and the September version of those 3 teams comparative to November, December, and late December, or even January. It seems like they're throwing darts against the wall. That's a good one. Yeah, let's start with the Eagles.
I just don't get the logic other than early season ratings, get as many people in as possible, plus good weather. Those are the only 2 determinations I can get. But like, why wouldn't we want the best product playing in division against each other? Like, even if the last 6 weeks of the season you only played your division,
right?
I would like that.
I'd be down with that. Yeah,
I would like that better.
It's like the college
it's like a pre postseason in a way.
Correct.
But I guess the weather's but then make everyone have a dome. I don't know.
We are talking live with Hockey with Rocky here on the Rome Show. Rocky Romanella joins us live in studio. Tune in, comments, your thoughts, whatever, YouTube or X, the Rome Show 1 or 12 OZ Sports. Before we get off of football, obviously, you join us once a week and we spend 20, 25 minutes talking, and we'll throw other sports in and we'll talk about different topics and whatnot. But now I can really get your thoughts on the New York Football Giants, since we just talked about their schedule. Sans the quote-unquote difficulty of their schedule. Sans what you might have thought going into the draft. Do you feel significantly better today as a Giants fan than you ever have in the last few years?
I feel great about the Giants right now. I think that they executed their draft great. I think if you look at Joe Shane, it looks like Shone.
Yeah, whatever.
We should spell that one. Schoen.
Once he gets you to the postseason, then he deserves the respect of you getting his name right every time.
Yeah, I think the person on the hot seat is really Brian Dable this year. I don't think it's Joe Shane. I think Shane, if you look at every position, they are significantly better than when he was there. And I would argue even last year, like the team at the positions, individual positionally, they were better. And I think the way that they navigated the quarterback position in the offseason, where they insulated their ability to draft a franchise quarterback and actually put they put Jackson Dart in a position to be a long-term starter. Yeah. He doesn't have to start. He can learn the system. He can learn the team. And you give your offensive line another few weeks to develop, to protect a kid who's going to need the extra time. I don't know how you're not excited as a Giant fan.
I'm amped. I'm not even a Giants fan. Would you start him week 1?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Do you have either of the 2 that you want to start, Winston or Russell? Like, do you care?
Before Jackson Dart gets into the lineup, both of those guys should be the starter. So it's Russell Wilson until it's not, and it's Jameis Winston until it's not. And I would argue I want to see the mastery of Brian Dable. I think it's time to see his ability to coach quarterbacks and to be a head coach. He doesn't need to be the offensive coordinator this year. I think that was a huge mistake last year. And his ability to win football games as the head coach, make good in-game decisions, and then really manage the quarterback talent is what he was hired for.
And why they gave Daniel Jones an extension in the first place, why Brian Daboll is still here, is because what he did that first season with Daniel Jones, with that offense that everyone couldn't believe, you're like itching for that to happen again. And you have better talent now.
Yeah. But Cam Scatterbo.
Right. And I think that to me is the best pick in the draft.
Totally.
Because Abdul Carter, you should go pick him.
Yeah, right? You just got to stop asking for numbers.
Yeah, what's going on there? He asked for every guy that's retired.
He's finally got one, though. He's finally got one. He's got Cinco Uno, 51.
I'm not gonna lie though, and listen, Lawrence Taylor's a little off the rocker. Okay,
Crush the response.
I thought it was phenomenal.
Perfect.
He said he should go retire another number or something like that.
Yeah, to make your own number.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I think what I love about coming out of rookie camp is the way people are talking about Dable's demeanor, his aura on the field, and like that's that first year the Giants really embodied that kind of blue collar work ethic that like we're not going to be denied. I mean, we're going to go for it when the game's on the line. We're going to go for 2. We're going to win the first game of the year. Like if you get that Brian Dable, I don't think the schedule matters for the Giants because it has to do with really being 500 and winning the division.
And the problem for the brass of the New York Football Giants is your fan base is sometimes going to feel like they're more invested in the team than the team sometimes, and not in a bad way. That's the New Jersey, New York fan. That's the New York Giants fan,
which is
so you're going to hear it,
and it's fueled by the media.
Correct, and
fueled.
So you put all of that into a mixing bowl, and it's like you don't have these 6 or 7 year gaps to be the type of way the Giants have been. Like you can't afford that. And
no,
then
there's no time for losing, and we've been losing for a long time.
And by the way, you go back to the draft, right? And it's like. It's almost like, in a way, you hurt yourself by having a great draft because now the fans expect
big
more.
expectations.
Yeah. If you had a bad draft, everyone would have been like, we expected this. They've been bad for 3 years. You have a draft like you have, which is good for Shane. I'm sure Dable and his team. It's awesome. But now you're like, bro, the expectations for like a lot of nutty New York Giants fans are 8-9, 9-8 compete for a playoff spot. There's no time.
No doubt. If you break down all the games, like towards the beginning of the season last year, you're in 1-score games a lot, and you weren't able to win those games. Right. And so if you can be at the schedule you're at and you play those one-score games again, now it's time. Again, that comes down to the coaching staff, and you got to win those games.
We talked Cam Scatabo. Before we go to commercial break, I saw that Derrick Henry signed an extension with the Baltimore Ravens. His initial contract was 2 years, $16 million. He had a year last year where he was filthy. And then with a year left on his deal, they extended him 2 more years to $30 million per year. So we'll make 8 this year, 15 each of the next 2 years. Rocky, my question is simple. Did Saquon Barkley reset the running back market? Is the running back revalued in terms of the financial gain now in the National Football League?
Yeah, it seems to be that way. I mean, we're joking. I mean, even when running backs were being devalued and like, they've got a short lifespan, we shouldn't pay them that much money. Like they can only last 6 years in the NFL. Like even through all of the negative running back talk, everyone's like, gotta have a good running game.
You still need to
have a good running game. Gotta have a good running game.
You have an offensive line and running game, can't win.
Listen, I know. I love football, but I don't know football.
Right.
But like, here's what I do know. Listen, if your passing game, if you throw the ball too many times, you had a bad running game.
Yep.
If you don't throw the ball enough, you didn't have a good enough running game.
Yep.
Either way, it's the core piece of football, and it's funny that the running backs went downhill so much. And now you've got 3 running backs, 2 running backs. What I see is more the advent of a single back system.
Sure.
When it comes to hard-nosed north and south running.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And something you said last night that I think deserves to be brought up is the development of the pass-catching running back. It's almost like in the last 5 to 7 years, the way the running back looks also is slightly different.
Yeah, if you can't catch the ball, you can't be in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't catch the ball, you can't be in the NFL. And I think Derrick Henry gets paid because he can play on every down.
Well, that's the other thing, because you can block on third down if you can't catch the rock, and then you can run through people on first and second down.
That's right. And like think about what Saquon did in Philly. He was finally used in an all situation format. I mean, someone can probably tell me, no, he wasn't on third down. Listen, I don't know the analytics. All I know is that the dude put up 2,000 yards. I'm guessing he played almost every down.
And they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So clearly it worked.
I mean, but
it's true, and it's happening now. I think it's good, though, because I agree. I've screamed on this show that don't draft a quarterback, draft an offensive lineman. I've screamed on this show, if you don't have a good line on either side of the ball, it don't matter. It doesn't matter what your talent level is. So I feel like the value uptick of the running back again is proving that it's like, okay, we're back to this. It doesn't mean back in the day is the way it's got to be done. It's like,
let's play the wishbone.
Yeah, no. We don't need to go back to everyone 3-point stancing, but it's like they're both need to be evident in your offense. And I think what Saquon was able to do, almost sticking his foot in the ground saying, F you, New York Giants, I can find this money. Luckily for him and the Eagles, it worked. Because if he gets hurt last year, we might not have you having this conversation right now.
Listen, if he gets hurt last year, everyone's like, "Oh, here we go."
If he has 897 yards in 16 games, we're not having this conversation right now. So I do think that you're right. It's always been valued, but like for some reason, whatever Saquon did in the last 16 months allowed people to say, maybe I'll give a little bit more money to them now.
Yeah, and it's funny because like Christian McCaffrey, I mean, everyone knows he's the guy, but like he didn't really change it. I mean, Derrick Henry is really like, I feel like Derrick Henry is a more standout for the payment than anyone else because he's still such a
just a runner
first guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a powerful runner. I mean, you would think like, and even Ezekiel Elliott, he couldn't maintain that level of performance that Derrick Henry did. And he's probably the most similar in recent memory coming out after Derrick Henry. Yeah. And even he couldn't maintain it.
You're right. That's a good point.
Right. And Saquon, the knock on him in New York was always he couldn't go north-south. He couldn't go hard.
Yeah.
But in reality, he just didn't have enough big guys to block for him.
I could not agree with you more. The Rome Show, 12 OZ Sports, broadcasting live on YouTube and X. Rocky Romanella live. Let's see if I get this right. I don't think I'm going to. When you play battle.
Right. I want to start hearing that it's important that a team is practicing their defensive 2-minute drill because no one in the NFL can stop anyone with like if you have over a minute left, you're kicking a field goal every time.
Every time. It's
literally every time.
If we talk football, I got to play that sound.
That's a good one. It's true though.
It's so true. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a commercial break on the live iteration of the Romanella brothers here on the Rome Show. We'll come back. We will get into Rocky's bread and butter, putting biscuits in the baskets on ice. We'll talk National Hockey League. And then if we have time, we'll give you our disgruntled thoughts on the Pete Rose situation. It's the Rome Show. It's 12-ounce sports. It's Rocky. It's Andrew. It's you. We're back after this.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12-ounce sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them. Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12-ounce sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
It's the Rome Show!
Yeah, the Rome Show. 12ouncesports.com, broadcasting live, YouTube, X. That's it. Yeah, YouTube and X. Pretty easy. I mean, heck, go find it. Almost cursed right there. My bad. Andrew Romanella, live. Rocky Romanella. Just remember, your daily notice today is forecheck, back check, paycheck. Okay, so if you were wondering what Rocky's words of advice for the people today, it's forecheck, back check, paycheck.
Hard on the puck. We're going to back check through the middle of the ice to the goal line.
Right. To give the D's an option on the breakout.
No doubt. And then we're going to get paid because we won the game.
That is so good. All right, let's stay on ice, Rocky. Last night, the Florida Panthers, which we talked about this series a bunch yesterday, Florida Panthers took a 3-2 series lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs with a 6-1 victory. Thoughts on that game?
They absolutely embarrassed the Toronto Maple Leafs at home in Game 5 and said, "You are still a little brother. You're not ready for the varsity team."
I agree with that.
It's hard. And listen, if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs and you lose, you have got to lose in tragic fashion.
At home, too. Especially.
You need to out-hit. You need to be desperate, and they had no emotion. And you can only, in times like these, in a situation like you have in Toronto, where you have not won the big game, you can't win the go-ahead game, you can't win the closeout game, you can only look towards their captain, Austin Matthews.
And you brought that up last night. So I said, let me go on really quickly. And then I just went on while you were talking and doubled up my math because I was like, I don't know if I remember what I saw last night. And I do. And it's bad. Okay. So let's take a deep look and a close look really quickly. Deep look. Austin Matthews in the postseason has only 2 goals and 8 assists.
And they all came in round 1.
There you go. Okay. On top of that, in the last 3 games for the Toronto Maple Leafs alone, okay, they've been outscored by the Florida Panthers 13-5. And that comes off the heels of being up 2-0 in the series and being, 8 minutes away from winning game 3 and being up 3-0 in the series. And now it's come to this. So it starts with their captain, because if your best player don't show up, it's hard for the team to show up. And then on top of that, it starts then with just what type of team are you? Are you just going to get rolled over and bullied? And that's what it felt like the Panthers did last night.
Max Domi, 5'10", 200 pounds, is your most physical player on the ice. William Nylander has scored the most goals. Where's Mitch Marner? Where's Austin Matthews? I mean, you can't even sit there and say that it's because Anthony Stolarz is hurt in net because they won their first 2 games. They've played good enough. Goalie's been good. This is a pure example, and I think you saw it in the Vegas series. But when your top guys are not playing in the game, you can't win. And then when it comes to a tight game, what you saw from Edmonton last night is that your depth will then win you the game.
Correct.
But Edmonton's top guys have been scoring. So it was okay to play a 0-0 game and let your fourth line win.
Yep.
Vegas has their top 5 scorers in the regular season, zero goals in the series versus Edmonton.
Just can't happen.
Austin Matthews, 0 goals versus Florida.
Just can't happen.
Nikita Kucherov, 0 goals versus Florida. I mean, you need your top line to be producers. And again, there's 2 sides to that. The players have to be able to play against the best competition.
Yep.
You can't fade away in the playoffs. And 2, the coaching staff needs to figure out a way to get their top line in better situations to score the goals.
That's right. It's not just throw them on the ice. I think that's what happens in the postseason with a lot of these teams. Look at the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA. It's like, okay, you roll out the same game plan you've rolled out for the last 95 games, and it's not working against this team. Change something. Do something different. Mix up the lines. Mix up the matchups. Anything.
And the worst part about it is that when you're at home, you get the last change.
I
in
know.
hockey.
You can see what.
So if there was ever a time for you to take advantage with your top line, it's when you're at home.
All right, well, let's flip it because you mentioned the Edmonton Oilers, who were able to put away the aforementioned Vegas Golden Knights last night with an overtime winner by a dude, Rocky, that I know you know, but I don't know. He led Edmonton in shots, and he scored the game winner. And Kasperi Kapanen? Wow, that is a name. You should try to have me spell that one.
Dude, hey, listen, throw pucks on net. Good things are happening. That's what happened. It was a scrum in front, broken play, dirty goal. Gotta love it. That's how you win in the playoffs. Well, that's how you win series in the playoffs.
Correct.
Right? You
and
win
close games.
Series that way, right? But like I said, it's your top line that wins you games. Your fourth line wins you battles, and the combination is what wins you the series. Obviously, the outlier and the most important outlier being the goaltending.
Yep.
But as we're seeing from Edmonton, the goaltending question marks are going away because what Edmonton really has showcased these playoffs against what everyone has said, even myself, is their depth, right? Obviously, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are going to carry the weight of the team, but what we're showcasing is their depth and their defensive prowess, right? They continue to score goals the same way they did in the regular season, but it's their ability to prevent goals, and I think that they had to learn that against the Kings, who could score at a clip like them, right, where they had to outscore the Kings to beat them. What they've done in Vegas is really stymie from a defensive standpoint.
It's a great point.
Which makes them scary in the Western Conference
because
final.
you know they can score. So if they can beat you with defense, oh man, what a different team.
Well, that's the thing that you're looking at. Man, Edmonton is serious because in the 0-0 game, finally, this is the only game in this series that they didn't score 3 or more goals.
Yeah,
and they still win.
2 straight games where Skinner has blanked the Vegas Golden Knights to win that series,
which is a huge accomplishment for that guy who has probably more haters than any goaltender left in the playoffs
and
right now.
Apparently he's a really nice guy. Here's some more statistics for you, Rocky. We mentioned that Austin Matthews in 10 games in the postseason has 2 goals and 8 assists. Okay. Well, Leon Draisaitl in this series alone, 5 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, and in the postseason, to prove your point about your best player showing up, 11 games the Edmonton Oilers have played, 5 goals and 11 assists. So not only is he scoring at the clip that he can score at, but we've always talked about how he's elite passer of the puck. He's elite at setting up his teammates as well. He's doing both for the Oilers right now. And that is why they are where they are.
That and think about that. That's not Connor McDavid.
I was just about to say
Leon
that.
Draisaitl.
Exactly.
That's Leon Draisaitl, who imagine if he was on his own team.
Yeah.
I mean, and by the way, he still gets the love he deserves. I mean,
I agree.
And that's the guy that we've said could be on pace to catch Ovechkin one day.
And your Connor McDavid numbers are 3 goals and 14 assists. He's gone every game but 2 in the postseason with a point.
And that is where you see the brilliance of Connor McDavid. It's not just that he's the fastest guy. It's not just that he's the most talented, but his hockey awareness and his ability to distribute the puck is really where he aligns more with Gretzky, and even like where Crosby and him align more is that it's puck distribution, it's the assists, it's the making the guys around him better so that pure goal scorers like Leon Draisaitl can bury the puck.
I agree. All right, to finish, because we are at the back end of this show here, you have the Caps and the Hurricanes tonight. The Hurricanes are the home squadron. They have a 3-1 series lead. The Capitals are trying to stay alive in that series. The Jets, they are in Dallas. Dallas also 3-1 series lead there. So the winner of the Jets and Stars series is going to get the Edmonton Oilers. And then the winner of the Leafs Panthers and the winner of the Caps Hurricanes will face each other. And no matter what, if you are watching at home, hockey fan, not hockey fan, don't matter. You have 2 things that you have to look forward to. A, elite conference finals. But B, there's a solid chance that none of the number 1 seeds are left. And this is that parity we're talking about with the National Hockey League. It was a rarity to see the number 1 seed in the NBA get knocked off the other day. It is normal in the National Hockey League for a 3, a 4, a 2, and a 5, whatever seed to be in the conference finals.
That's right. And all these people saying that the format, it doesn't work. I mean, I don't know how you can say that. Look at the way, the first round matchups were so much tighter, especially on the West Coast, less on the East. But now you look at the second round divisional matchups, and you're sitting there saying, like, we're pretty lopsided.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 3-1. We were 3-1 in 3 out of the 4 series. And I don't see how Carolina doesn't put the Caps away based on what we've seen. And Dallas, I mean, listen, Dallas, I think the Dallas Jets game is going to be a lot like the Vegas Oilers game last night. And again, look out for Winnipeg only because they proved that desperation in round 1.
Yeah, that's how they continue.
Right. And so if you're going to, that's the President's Trophy winning team, there's no way they're going to roll over. I don't think the Caps are going to roll over either, but we've all kind of expected the burnout from the Caps.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
It's happened their whole time that they've been a team.
We've all kind of expected. No one really expected them to be as good as they were regular season wise, and now you can kind of see. Whereas I think the Winnipeg it feels a little different. So I would expect the Hurricanes to close out tonight.
I agree. I think you're going to end up having, even though I agree with the desperation, I think it's going to be Stars Oilers and Panthers Hurricanes, and I think that is an electric Final Four.
And those are and again.
These could be the best teams in the league.
You look
on paper.
Listen, you complain about no parity in round 1 of the NCAA tournament, but then you've got the best 2 teams playing in the national championship. Yeah. You complain about the playoff format, and then based on the way it all plays out, you're sitting here like, these are the 4 teams I want to see against each other.
Correct.
I mean, these are going to be knock them, drag them out like series. Like, let's go. This is what we want in the conference final. A lot of 3-minute
penalties.
This is what we want. That's right. This is what we want in the conference final. So, listen, I love the way it's been going down. I would have liked to have seen I'm surprised it's 3-1. I was surprised it was 3-1, especially in Vegas. I was surprised it was 3-1. And I think Winnipeg. I thought Winnipeg was going to be a little bit better.
Yeah, it's something in that.
Tough for Canada.
It's like the Canada water. Yeah, it's
tough
like
for Canada.
They're really good in the regular season.
Because going into the playoffs, I would have told you.
Wasn't it 4 of 6 Canadian teams made it?
I think it was more because Montreal was in 2, so you have
5.
Yeah, I mean,
Vancouver wasn't.
No, Vancouver. See you later. But Ottawa, Montreal,
in, yeah.
Toronto. That's
All
3.
5
Winnipeg, Edmonton. It's 5.
Yeah.
So, it really should have been Winnipeg, Edmonton. So let's see if Winnipeg can do something special.
I mean, listen, it's not over, as Juliana says, until
It'll never be
fat
over.
lady things. Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, unfortunately, this show is over. If we got paid more money to stay longer, we probably would. So maybe we'll talk about that in the next contract. Nonetheless, thank you, Rocky, for joining us live today. What a good time.
The UFL just negotiated their CBA. Maybe we can.
Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe we can negotiate being the live team for the UFL. That would be electric stuff.
I'm sure it would be.
Any live final thoughts before we get out of here?
Forecheck, back check, paycheck.
I love it. It's the Rome Show, 12 OZ Sports. We're here every day at 7 a.m. Oh, play the music. I'll be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. I don't know if he'll be here live, but we'll see if we can figure this thing out. Maybe he can be on the television screen for it.
Oh, yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Andrew Romanella, Rocky Romanella, the 12-ounce sports mothership. Follow it. Until tomorrow. Peace.
Thank you for listening.